Audio testing 1 2 3. Audio testing 1 2 3. I'm can't really sleep that easily anymore. I was watching this really good video, by the way, Jordan Peterson, about beauty. I agree. I think previous to this, I was watching Eric Schmidt, is the former CEO of Google, talking about AI and what's coming. Some of the stuff he says is indisputable. He's saying it's coming, like things that are going to happen no matter whether you like it or not. As he's, of course, knees deep into the AI industry, and some of it, honestly, is a bit terrifying to me as an older person. Not really. Well, I mean, he's older, but I mean, like, just something scary about what's coming to AI. I mean, you have to embrace it. You can't hide from it. What I know as a certainty is this: trying to program now. There's freaky moments where you're in Xcode, you're gonna code something, and then I swear to God, AI built into Xcode will auto write what you're gonna write anyway, and it does it better than you do, without error, without fail. And to me, it's like, okay, wow, like I feel useless in that moment, because what I thought was the work that I thought was, So, on some levels, perhaps it is a case of learning how to program nowadays. It's not even that valuable anymore, because knowing the principles behind programming is perhaps far more important. Like, what it's for. The technical aspect of it, like Schmidt was talking about, the junior programmers are going to lose their jobs. They're not needed anymore, and rightfully so. The first instinct I had hearing all this stuff was, are we not going back to a day where, well, technical skill, for whatever you want to call it, is basically technical skills, as, like, for example, the ability to program in a language, is not nearly even close to being as valuable, let's say, as knowing what you want to make and how you want to see it made. The reason I say this is because I'm not clear about it, but it's driving me a little bit mad, honestly. I don't, it's not the only thing, obviously, but it is driving me kind of mad to think that there's something disturbing about what's to come, I feel, in the next 10 years. In the sense that it has to be embraced. At the same time, the world that I once knew growing up is gone. It's radically different. It's not the same clothes in different colors. It's a new way of thinking about clothes entirely, and what even clothes are. And that's what really bothers me a lot.
Not rest on your laurels,
They
grow unstoppable.
I'm tired. Sometimes, truthfully, it's all so much that I can't even understand it all. Just that, I can tell you what's really weird. There is, like, sanctuary and peace and happiness, I would say, in certain activities one, watching other people on YouTube, really, movies, art, art, essentially. Okay, like any kind of beauty, art. If I see a beautiful thing, and I mean, I think it's wonderful. And I don't think AI could ever accomplish that. I think beautiful art, even people who enjoy can't describe it, I think, in language. Why? It can be approximated, I guess, through, I suppose, if you feed an AI model a lot of samples, it can approximate what it might be. But has anyone who's ever watched, like, let's say, okay, adult videos that have AI generated, fill in the blanks, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. And having it never covered up and reprocessed is always going to be better. It's different. It's not the same thing. And I mean, it's a weird example to pull out. I'm just saying that going forward, it does seem to be very important to identify the things that are not going to be able to be done by AI, and at least not in the near future, as it is impossible to ascertain whether or not, like, I don't know. It's scary though, for sure. I feel disturbed, honestly. So, why? I'm not even sure. Not that any of this even matters. I just. This game is weird. Spearfield handles everything, so kind of. I was gonna try to explain the build, but then I figure, I guess I just don't feel like it anymore. I mean, it was fun the first few times. I'll do it anyway. I think right now the best thing to do with this is you don't even need plaguebearer. You don't even need plaguebearer anymore, right? Well, sometimes you do, but usually you don't. Though. There are many options now to clear screens, like with impunity, but like Spearfield is a big hero here, right? Even though the tooltip is very low, it doesn't matter. This is going to kill stuff on your screen quite handily, and. Sleepy. After this, I'll go to bed.
We are only getting started.
If I can. This spear is really good and it's high damage. Yeah.
Natural selection breeds the mightiest foes. Ravage and ransack.
Try a little cool little trick that see, in a game like PoE, it's more evident than ever that, like, if on some level, like, the real fun of it is at the start of the league, no one really knows what's the best, what's not the best, right? The process of finding that out is the fun part. But did they fix the bug here? How do you do this? You use this? See if it works. Does that work? It doesn't work. I don't get it. I'm trying to replicate his little trick. Let's go to sleep soon. What the? Where's the last soul core? Down here, isn't it? What a weird way to lay out the map.
May your next end
Whatever.
prove
Okay,
more
doesn't
fruitful.
matter. Just want to talk anyway. I don't want to play the game because there's too much stuff in my brain that I can't unpack. It's really bothering me actually, and whatever. But you know what? As Galen said, it's now reached a point where you think like everyone's just smarter in some way, and when things can be discovered by AI, for example, and it's a legit thing, right? I mean, listen to that argument. It's no longer science fiction; it's a reality. The way that U.S. and China are competing against each other is insane. I gotta know more about this. What China's delivering here in the deep. I forgot what it was called. Their version of it. Um, I don't remember the names, but they're rivals in this, and it's crazy to hear them talk about the energy needs for such AI power. Like they need like a lot of gigawatts and whatever. And now more than ever, I think it is more relevant than ever to keep a close tie to what makes humans human. Like as in what separates them from just being like machines, and also to be even more than ever bound to the spiritual or whatever you want to call it, the elements of which we have inside us that are not just rational intellect. I think the word rational intellect, Jordan Peterson said it over and over again. I think it's very relevant that an intellect is essentially a kind of a critic, discrimination between good and bad, better, like values, basically. Um, but it's a critic nonetheless, right? And he used the word cynical, which I think is right. When you read Reddit, it's full of kind of a cynicism, I think, in a way, right? Critical of everything, right? And the issue is that living that way is depressing. I think in a way it also, I won't say is a prime contributor to my feelings of like that this world is not worth living in, or like I can't shake the feeling off, right? But it is a contributor in some way, and to only adopt that as a singular model of how life is, I think is almost fatal in some ways. I mean, it sounds very dramatic, but I think it's true. More than ever, I treasure things like music, art, beautiful things, the people I've met, the conversations I've had, the things that essentially separate us from a computer. Is weird because I'm very much, my entire life is like silicon. Like, half of it is, more than half at least, right? If I lost all my computers in my house, it would be a disaster. I would have a hard time going on with life. That's weird. I think that it becomes harder and harder to derive any kind of pleasure or happiness, let's say, from activities that are not associated with computers. Like even my need for like someone to talk to can actually be replaced by a stream, which is really weird. Um, I feel more comfortable talking to a microphone to an unknown audience than I do to a real person these days. It's the truth, and it's very strange. It's like all of our primal needs can be mostly met through just digital silicon solutions, which is weird. That's why when I cook something, when I feel like onions in my hands or whatever, it's it's a great feeling, Like if you're gonna spend the entire day touching a keyboard and mouse and that's it, and your brain's always going, like, always working on shit like in your brain, it kind of gets to you eventually, and it kind of like it doesn't feel good, honestly, it doesn't. And just sit. Sometimes I like just sitting there at a kitchen counter and just looking at things cook. Just you don't think anymore. I don't know. Someone has instilled this idea in my brain that if you're not being productive at any given time of your life, if you're not generating financial wealth, if you're not productive, okay, your wife is going to leave you, your girlfriend's going to leave you. Like, everyone just wants to climb for money. And how do you get money? By being productive, by increasing GDP. And that's what we all respect and revere. And rightfully so. I mean, advancement of society is inevitable, but it's exhausting. And I wonder at what expense it comes by. I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about this very deeply. It's just it doesn't